Good Erev Shabbos, it's Parshas Eikev. The Parsha begins, if you will only guard the judgments, I will surely guard for you the covenant of kindness. That's a summary. It's not an exact quote. But the idea here is that we're dealing with one of three commandments, not the supra-rational commandments called the chukim, like don't wear wool and linen in your garment, and not the edut, the testimonies, which testify to something that happened in our history. And it's somewhat rational because we sort of understand what's going on, but there's supra-rational components to it, like don't break the bones in the Passover sacrifice when you're eating its meat. And then there are the mishpatim from the word shofet, which means judge, because these are the judgments, the rational commandments, like don't murder, don't commit adultery, don't steal, and many like that people understand in all cultures of the world. The idea here is that the reason it says Eikev only is because Eikev is also, believe it or not, related to the word heel, like your heel of your foot. Yaakov was holding on to Esav's heel when he came out, and we're supposed to keep even, or especially only, if you'll only keep the mishpatim. The key to this being so important, says Rashi, is because people tend to step on these commandments with their heel, meaning because they're rational, they tend to rationalize them. It's hard to rationalize wool and linen when you don't even understand why they can't be mixed. You can just say, I don't want to keep it because they don't really believe it comes from God. If you believed it came from God, it would be hard to not keep it, I suppose. But we have to ask ourselves, what's the big deal that these are so important, not to rationalize the rational? And it goes back to the Garden of Eden, where Adam and Chava wanted to eat from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. They wanted to basically understand good and evil so they could decide what the commandments would be. This was not what God wanted. He wanted them to eat from the tree of life, as symbolized by the Torah, or that symbolizes the Torah. And then we ingest God's values. We keep the values. We still have to deal with the free will of whether to keep them or not, but we accept them as God's rules. But they wanted to decide the rules themselves. And then they also had to live up to them like anyway, in any case. And that's the big challenge, whether to accept God's rules and have the choice to fight whether to keep them or not, or to design your own rules, which you may not even get the rules right in given situations that are challenging, and then to keep them as well. We're not supposed to design the rules. We're supposed to listen to God's, and not, because in the end, we'll end up rationalizing them. And that's quite dangerous. Have a good Shabbos as you work to accept God's rules and then to live by them.